The typical Nigerian has some extra sauce. You know, we Africans, we know how to bring that extra to anything we're involved in. And when it comes to Nigeria, like we say, no darling, don't dull. Today on Weekend Deal is going to be about Nigeria's creative industry with special attention to what? Fashion. Our fabrics, you know now, it's been imported all over the world. When foreigners wear what we wear are the norm, they take it the extra mile. They go all around with it. We've heard about royalty donning our fabric and our styles. We here in Nigeria, our designers are always on call to ensure that we stand out everywhere we go. When it comes to the males, that extra is always there. For the women, it's also the same. Sometimes we add that headgear to give it that extra finish. Talk about the jewelry we put on to ensure that the attire comes to its full position and potential. And that's why we invite you to be with us today on Weekend Deal, because it's all about you and you and you. No matter what you do at different times in your life, you will have time to touch base with a fashion designer to make something for you, whether it's casual, whether it's phenomenal, whether it's that elegant one you're going to use for a wedding, a birthday celebration. All of us are familiar with this group of people who make us look extraordinary every time. My name is Thelma Obaze, and as always, I'm not alone. She's like a princess today. So let me say, Princess Patience Elohim.
Oh, my beautiful Thelma, my fashionista.
Take it away.
You look
See
great.
who's talking. See who is talking.
Thelma with the steers. Okay. Now, on this show, we celebrate excellence. Should I even say in NTA, we celebrate excellence. Be that excellent, be in form of a group of people, individuals, an industry, a sector. We celebrate them. And today, we are stopping to celebrate and salute the Nigerian fashion industry. I mean, what is there not to celebrate for an industry that is worth about $2 billion, a big employer of labor, an industry that has an amazing value chain? It is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. My name is Patience Eloy Abba. Weekend Deal. Again, our focus is on the creative industry with special attention on the fashion industry. And like we said, what exactly is fashion? Fashion is a popular style or trend, including accessories and grooming. Fashion would tell the kind of person you are. People look at you and say, this person is this way or that way, depending on what style you choose. To tell us more about fashion, set a tone for our conversation, is a backgrounder, and it's put together by Francis Ogbe.
Nigeria's fashion industry is a vibrant and dynamic sector that reflects the country's rich cultural heritage, diverse ethnic traditions, and evolving modern influences.
Fashion is big. Fashion has a very wide cover. We've gone far, especially with the bespoke area and making ready-to-wears and all of that. But it seems like everybody is concentrated in one section of making either runway clothes or making bespoke, ashwebi, or making ready-to-wear. So the focus, that's because of what they have interpreted as fashion.
Don't say I'm waiting till it's too late.
During the colonial era, Nigeria's fashion industry was deeply influenced by its ethnic diversity. The 1960s and 1970s saw a revival of indigenous fabrics like ashoke, adire, and ankara, which were embraced as symbols of cultural heritage.
Fashion, I said then, would translate our culture in colors, in showing our curves. You know, you see the Yorubas wearing the ashoke, you see the Igbos wearing the Georges and all of that. That's the pre-colonial time. You could identify a culture or the state of origin of someone from their attire. That was the key thing. But sadly, when we got colonized, we had to copy the style and fashion of those that colonized us. Now we started evolving gradually from that fashion style that we knew at that time and literally emulating the people that colonized us.
Globalization and the proliferation of media have exposed Nigerians to global fashion trends, resulting in a fusion of Western and Nigerian styles. This blend has created a unique fashion identity that is both contemporary and rooted in tradition.
You see people merging, using something like Ankara to make jackets. You see them using Ankara to make proper office dresses that you can wear to the office and look like, yes, you came to, work. So you see people merging silk fabrics with what should I call it, ashoke, with hadire. It's just, it has to be your passion and creativity that will get you to that point. And that is like a trending thing right now, because even the foreigners see it, they can reckon with the fact that, okay, this is a jacket. We will ordinarily wear jackets, but now this is now a jacket in an African print. This is it for me. I get a lot of people, from, out of the country asking me for, oh, please, can I get, they don't even come to ask for their own kind of, fabrics. They come asking for our natives because we've projected it. We're now proud of it. We're confident in it. We've made it original, but still in fashion stylings that they can recognize.
Fashion events such as Lagos Fashion Week and Arise Fashion Week have provided platforms for Nigerian designers to showcase their work to a global audience.
We have great minds, great and creative people, but they're just looking for platforms to be seen. They're looking for runways. Some of them, they're just waiting. They're not even aware, that these things are happening. What this fashion events have done to the fashion industry is that it has announced a lot of creative minds in the fashion industry that nobody ever thought would be seen. And it also informs the younger ones who are coming up, aspiring to be creatives in the fashion industry, that, hey, this is possible. If Adama down the road is on a Rise Fashion Week, it could be you tomorrow.
As Nigerian designers continue to push boundaries and explore new creative heights, the future of Nigerian fashion looks promising and set to make even greater impact on the global fashion landscape.
Fashion has been one section of the country or, business in Nigeria that has been highly embraced. I mean, look at you. You're wearing an Ankara outfit, definitely made by one big designer. Look at me wearing my original, so I see us taking over highly if the country can encourage us. I think one limiting part too is funding.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on Nigeria's fashion industry.
Our focus is on Nigeria's rich, vibrant fashion industry, and you are an integral part of it, as are our fashion designers, male and female alike. Now we're going to the eastern part of Nigeria. Talk about Isiagu, you know that fabric? Talk about the George. Many women tie it in vibrant colors, but it has a very rich history that dates back over 100 years ago. As we touch base with NTA Enugu, we have the privilege of learning a lot more about the Igbos and their tribal fashion.
Welcome to the heart of Southeast Nigeria, where the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people comes to life through their stunning traditional fashion. In this vibrant region, culture and daily life are intricately woven together, creating a variety of colors, patterns, and history from death to life.
Traditional attire in Igbo land is a mark of honor that shows that this person is a man of influence, affluence, and power. Okumeme, Okweze, Odo, Aka, Iburu, Isiago. These form the regalia. Mbaeze, the staff of office. This glorifies the achiever and makes him stand out in the society. The colors in the Igwe's cap is different from just a red cap. It has to be multiple. It has to show for the glory. These dresses are also ceremonial dresses. They are not worn to the farm. They are not worn to the bush. They are not worn when you are doing the hunting. Standing out is the red cap. They are often called red cap chiefs. They are people of achievement. They have made achievements. And then on top of that red cap, you find the eagle feather. It's not a chicken feather, it's not a turkey feather. The eagle is a high flyer. Now this man you are seeing is a high flyer. He's a great achiever. And so that is what it symbolizes.
For the women, the elegant wrapper and intricately tied headgear are true masterpieces.
In olden time, the dressing is not what we have today, that people are now like masquerades, covering everywhere apart from the face. That time, you know somebody's beauty by the exposition, the structure, whether man or woman. And this regalia represents the status of a titled person. The tie is just to cover their breasts, then they leave the upper one, is to portray their beauty, and then to show that they have been honored by the community as title holders. Also, what they wear as a bangle, what we call bangle today, is the elephant tusk. Although it is a mark of honor. They are called often Lolo because they are wives of Igwes.
Meet the Isiago, the regal attire that makes Igbo men stand tall.
Like the dress with the lion's head on it. It shows that that person is a person of power. The regalia represents honor given to them because it is due to them. These dresses are also ceremonial dresses. Like beads, enwere aka, nwe iburu. The aka is dark. The ibu is white. Some of them are from big animals to tell you how expensive they are, including crocodiles and elephants. Elephant tusk are carved into smaller sizes and turned into beads.
The future of Igbo fashion is assured, and it promises to be more stunning than ever.
Nigeria has a rich tapestry of culture and tradition, and it reflects in the way they dress. I mean, look at those Igbo women looking all elegant and well-fed. And if you know what I mean. Okay, it is time for our first guest to join the conversation. A woman who is no stranger to fashion, a woman who has done it all as far as fashion for men and women are concerned. She's the CEO, she's the MD, CEO of Queen T Fashion and Beauty Empire. I will emphasize empire. She's Celestine Ibe. Let's see her profile.
The amazing Celestine, welcome
Thank
to
you.
Weekend
Thank
Deal.
you.
It's great to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Especially as we blaze a trail through Nigeria's creative industry with special focus on fashion, of which, like Patience said earlier, you're no stranger to.
I am not.
You've been doing it internationally, and now from your base here in Abuja, you also go global. Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Other fashion designers can learn a thing or two from you. You saw that feature earlier that took us to Enugu and by association, the eastern part of our country. Tell us about the very interesting times that we are with regards to making female clothing.
Female clothing are, like we all know, is our culture, is what makes us stand out internationally, even locally. Do you understand? I think we are doing incredible job in our fashion sense. Our fashion sense are unique. They cover us well. You understand? So I think our fashion industry is good. Even in the States, like people love our dress sense, they love our fashions, they love our culture, they love our tradition. So we are doing amazing well globally. I think we are hitting the world.
These days, we are getting more uncovered, and uncovered.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to a wedding, like our corset dresses.
Yes.
Let me even just first ask the first question I would ask you is it possible to wear a corset dress and be covered on the top? Because things are jumping out.
Yes.
I'm beginning to get really worried, and you're a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Can we cover the top and still wear a nice corset dress for a wedding?
Yeah, we actually can do that, but we can actually do that. We can wear a corset dress and actually cover our top. But you know, our girls these days, we like to show cleavages, and not just show cleavages, show everything, which is not really giving the elegant vibe and all that.
But I'm sure when people see some of us at events, they're wondering, did the fashion designer forget to take the measurement? Or did she take her younger sister's dress? Or was it made and sent to her in a foreign land?
You know,
or is it you mean that is intentional?
I will tell you that's an abuse to fashion.
Yeah, thank you.
That's an abuse to fashion, because there's no modesty there anymore, and we are known for modesty. That's what Africa entails. Is all about, and that is why we are the giants of African. We are entailed for modesty, elegancy, class, and all that, and we don't carry that anymore because we are looking at the outside world, what the Gen Z are wearing, and we try to imitate that, and it doesn't look classy, it doesn't make it look good. Even if you have to show something, just show a little bit. You don't have to just pop the whole thing out there for the world to see. What is left to see? Nothing. So I think we just abuse fashion.
When people come to you, even women, because I've seen women my age practically naked at events. Do you advise them? Do you tell them you can't wear this at your age? I mean, not even age. You can't expose yourself like this. You're a woman.
You can't even do that, because when you do that, they take it personal. It's going to be an insult to their personality. So you give them what they ask for, and some of the time you cover them up. They tell you, "Oh no, this is not what I want.
You need to open it up."
Yes, you need to open it up. I want you." So
okay, in the course of our show, I know that you will find the most encouraging words to let them know that fashion is not so much about how much you expose, but sometimes how much you cover.
Yes.
Okay, let's now look at our fabrics. We have very rich fabrics to the extent that even if I want to, I'm in Abuja, but I want to go to Edo State. Physically, I cannot travel there, but I want to represent from here. All I need to do is get the fabric, come to someone as gorgeous and as excitable as you are, and ask you to brand me.
Yes.
We have seen over time that the cost of even looking Nigerian in the most positive way continues to skyrocket. But tell us about how that can be captured. Can I look fashionable without spending, without emptying my bank account?
Well, I would say yes, but I will also tell you no. With the present economy, everything went skyrocket. Even the cost of fabric are not cheap anymore.
Yes.
You understand? No matter how cheap you think it was, it's not that cheap anymore. So the cheapest has even gone high. So and with the economy, with what we are making and your income, nothing is cheap anymore. So I will not tell you fashion is cheap.
White Thelma and Queen T are negotiating what to do, how to bring it down. We will be going to, okay, we went to the east earlier and we saw the elegance that's in the eastern part of Nigeria. Let's go to Kaduna.
Nigeria generally is something that can be contained. What I mean is, due to the northern culture, there are many aspects of the culture in which influences our designs, our styles, and even the market. We have monogramming machines creating these northern designs and northern styles, both for kaftans, which is like a mini, and the babariga, which is like a big kind of dress, the cultural dress of the northerners. We no longer do it the regular way.
Our culture has actually influenced a lot of what we wear nowadays, despite the fact that we have so many trends that Western culture has already infused into our traditional kind of culture also. You see, as a House of Fulani, we tried as much as possible, or I should talk on or about my own self. You see, my brand has tried as much as possible to be able to infuse the cultural aspects of the North into the modern aspect of fashion that we do now. You could see, for instance, I can talk about the saki, which is the traditional fabric of the northern Nigerian woman, which 90% of northern brides now love to use that. So with saki, you could see that my brand in particular tried to bring in saki into the modern contemporary designs we'll do, and then we always try as much as possible to make sure that whatever an Arewa bride is going to wear should have to have that kind of cultural touch in it. So you see, my brand has tried as much as possible to be able to bring in the culture into the modern aspect of fashion.
Out there in the world, projecting African culture, you see them using some of these traditional attires, the babarigas, in a movie, in an American movie, for instance, to prove or to show that this person is not is an African. Check it out. Most of the attires prove this, and most of the ones used in recent times are these northern attires, where you see our kaftans being displayed, the babarigas. When you go for wedding, you see the grooms, even Nigerians that get married to foreigners, maybe the whites, you see them wearing these beautiful babarigas, and then it's something to, I think if you don't have one, you should get one.
Honestly, being from the north, and then whatever we do, we have to look at modesty first, because that is what we are. You see, for instance, the hijab. We actually do not joke with hijab when it comes to modesty, because in fact that is what defines modesty, hijab. I tried as much as possible when creating clothes, making sure that they are kind of modest, not just really kind of modest, but they should mostly be modest in the sense that every kind of woman will feel very, very comfortable and free when wearing it. You see, we produce veils, like what the Westerner call hijab, but we call them veils because what we prefer as hijab is totally something that covered from head to toe, but what the Westerners actually call hijab is just a small veil that you can wrap around the head. We try as much as possible when creating abayas, trying to infuse maybe Ankara into it, or saki, or any traditional intricate fabric into it. We make sure that we try to make a veil that matches it, and in the sense that whenever you wear them, you feel that comfort in you, you feel that modesty in you, and you feel that elegance in you. So an Arewa woman in general, I would say, and I will forever say, is a very modest woman, and she is everything.
Wow, we're just still talking about fashion. You know, now when you see people, women gather like this, you know what we're discussing. And then again, we're discussing it today on the show, and we have a designer in our midst. We're already planning the styles she will make for us during this week. You are watching Weekend Deals. Start sending in your experiences. What's your favorite style? Who are your role models? Talking about fashion, men and women. Who would you prefer to make clothes for you? A female designer or a male designer? Welcome back from Kaduna. We're in the FCT now. And our second guest is also with us in the studio. He's a lawyer, a talent consultant, and of course, a fashion designer. He's of mixed nationality, but Nigeria is very proud to hold him here in this country. Let's get to see his profile, and I'll meet him live in our studios.
You're welcome to Weekend Deal.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So we're just saying something. I said there's a whole royalty going on here. So we have the MD CEO of Queen T, and then the first frame of his picture, he was wearing a crown. That shows that he's a king in fashion. So don't joke with this
missed
studio.
fashion
royalty. It's happening here live. Okay, tell us your story. What attracted you to fashion industry?
So fashion found me. For me, it wasn't about me going to fashion, because I mean, my career was law. I've always had fashion in me. So growing up, I've always loved to look good.
You read law from the university?
I'm a lawyer.
You're a lawyer?
I've come to court bar. I'm a barrister as well. So, so yeah. So fashion for me has always been a part of me. So I don't think I ever took my way out of my studies to look for fashion. Fashion found me because I've always been like that. So I'm that child that my parents would want to ask questions if they want to go out. How do I look? What do you think?
As a fashion designer, what has been your experience in dressing these women who will come to you and say practically all the things out in front?
So I think about fashion for par. That's what it is. You know,
for par.
Yeah. So that's something that a lot of people have made. The errors that a lot of people have made.
It's a misnomer.
It's a misnomer. Yeah. But it has come to stay. You can't force people. You can't. I mean, sometimes people come and meet you as a designer. I would like this particular design, even when they don't have the body type.
Yes.
So because I am also a fashion stylist. You understand? So it's something I've learned. I'm trained for this. So I look at people and I can advise you and say, okay, with this body shape, I think this style will suit you better than this other. But sometimes people insist.
Yes.
And there's nothing you can do. So I think you should just give them what they want. But sometimes when they go out and they get those wrong, sometimes they get maybe some people are very truthful. They'll be blunt enough to tell them the truth. Yeah. Well, so when they hit them below the belt, they come back and say, oh, but I told you that, and they come back to what you have said, to a round table. But there are some clients who also listen, who you can actually have a round table conversation with, who would actually listen to whatever you have to say and apply. And when they apply, of course, they hit it. Like you said, the steez.
I like stage.
And they are making a presentation already. Yeah,
fashion royalty with the sauce.
Yes.
Okay, let's now look at the mixing and matching.
Yeah.
Sometime like 4 or 5 years ago, I began seeing guys with skirts. And we're having women now, they wear this agbada and they wear it so, some women look amazing with it. Now we have culottes as well. Men and women are wearing, we just saw Kwame now on his profile wearing one lovely culotte and then a fitted top, you know. How are you utilizing, you've been outside, you've lived in different states in this country, how are you bringing that your worldwide experience into fashion for men and women? And when we started seeing men wearing skirts, what were you fashion designers thinking?
Fashion is fashion. It's what you feel confident in. What you think makes you look good. You know, some people may not agree with your fashion sense, but it's you that complements your fashion. You know the statements you're trying to make. Internationally, we sew ready-made now. We sew ready to wear. We style. Fashion is what you're. It's large.
Yes.
It's
So
large.
you are enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
You are loving what you are creating.
Yes, and we now you can style internationally, you can style locally, you can play with fashion, you can do whatever. Like you said, what he was wearing, the orange outfit, it was amazing. So you can do that traditionally, and you can do it globally, and it stands out.
So for me, I think fashion is just something that you possess. It's something that you say, I want to look this way, right? But style is the way you exhibit that dress.
It's innate.
Yes, because it's innate. You know, it's eternal as well. It's something that you are going to forever be with. You know, style is something that is the way you want to present the look. You know, if I give you, we can give you two dresses, for example, I decide to style it differently. The different thing is that, okay, she has that bead on her neck, which is like her coral bead on her neck, and then somebody can decide to say, okay, no, I don't want to have it. I want to have it just with a belt. So that's already another style. But it's the same dress. Do you understand? So it depends on how you want to style it. Oh, I want to have a darling earring. I want to have a studded earring. So I feel like style in itself is what you represent, you know, and how you know. But fashion is the outfit in itself, you know, and maybe what a trend. But a style is something that stays with you forever. Trend is just temporal.
Comes and
temporal,
goes,
basically. So when you talk about skirts, for men, for example, it's a culture for some people. Like in Scottish skirts, the Scottish people are the ones who started wearing skirts for men, you know. So like when I launched my drape collection, which is what you saw in some of the pictures, like all those drape collections, I had to go as far as Egypt. So I went to Cairo, flew down to Sharm el Sheikh, and produced that collection. So I went into their system, understood that, okay, the old Egyptian people used to wear robes and all that. So I had to go through the culture to be able to produce that collection. And that was in 2021. So that was me taking a niche, 2022 rather. That was me taking a niche or taking myself out of my comfort zone to produce those outfits out of the regular.
Well, how was it received?
It was received beautifully. So I launched it here in Abuja, but I did my shoots and my campaign in Egypt. So what I was trying to sell to Nigerians, is especially Abuja people, because Abuja people are a little very restricted. Most Abuja people just want to look like this or kaftan. So if it's not a two-piece kaftan, they're a little, they play safe, you know. The people that really go out of the world, that's why I say Lagos is another country. Lagos will go out of the way to look special, and you know, I mean, see what happens with MCCAs and the rest of the shows.
Wow.
It's going crazy and crazy.
Yes.
But again, I'm going to talk about our fabrics. The fact that these days you will see a normal dress. The use of ashoke, growing up, ashoke used to be something used for big events. But these days, you see a dress and part of it is ashoke, part of it is lace.
So I'm going to shade you guys a little.
You want to shade us?
Yes.
I'm waiting for the shade.
So you know what? You look good, for example. You are wearing Ankara, you know, but you don't need to have stones on it. Ankara is beautiful in itself. I always tell people that having stones on Ankara, I don't think it's a little, is you not enjoying Ankara for what it is. Ankara.
Continue that conversation. But a break beckons now. A break beckons. I'm coming back. Yes. Handle Kwame very well and let the world know why stones into our job. Because stones. I mean, I'm stoned.
And I'm stoned.
Abba, our second break on Weekend Do Beckon, send in your message. Would you prefer, as a woman now, would you prefer for Kwame to style you, or would you prefer for Celestine to style you? As a gentleman, who do you think will style you better? Is it Celestine or is it the royal Kwame? Tell us more after the break. Don't go away. This is Weekend Do, that breakfast show you can never afford to miss. Thank God you're a part today. Please keep sending in your messages. Where are you in Nigeria, or are you somewhere outside our shows but you love Nigerian fashion? Reach out to us. we have models in the house. They're going to showcase some exciting, innovative, and ingenious styles for us. Our models, are you ready? Show us what you got.
Okay.
Later, you tell us where we can wear such outfits
Well,
to.
yeah, so you tell us.
Amazing.
Amazing. Beautiful. Oh, my African, well done. You look beautiful.
African queen.
Okay, Toma. Okay.
Ooh. I like to play with different colors with that style.
I like the accessory at the end of what do you call this thing? What is called this? That fringe, right?
Fringe, yes,
Oh, the
fringe,
fringe
yeah.
is beautiful.
Amazing.
Well
and then the
done.
colors.
Yes.
It
Very
helps
fine.
the
And
dress.
colors.
Must encourage
Nice
them. Well
one.
done. Well
Nice
done.
one.
Beautiful.
Nice one. Nice
Beautiful.
one. Do we say thank you, ladies? Thank you. So patience. Go with the
okay.
stone battle now.
Okay, so our models have done well. They look beautiful. And we're going to be talking about body types, different body types for different styles. But the battle first. I mean, how can Obitaris sit next to me? Me that love stones. I mean, look at how stoned I am. And look at how stoned he is. And then he says he thinks that Ankara should not. What did he even say? That Ankara should not have stones. We're not celebrating Ankara enough. I want to put it to you, you're a lawyer. I'm putting it to you right here on national TV that putting stones on Ankara is giving it the celebration it needs.
You know, funny enough, he's trying to body shame us, but men even
Not body shame us, fabric shame.
Fabric
shame.
Hey, I like this one.
So when men put stones on their
So,
senator, what do you
so
call
what,
that?
let me explain what I meant,
Okay,
right?
yes.
So the beauty, so Ankara is okay. Should I shock you? Ankara is not, doesn't belong to Africa. Africa doesn't own Ankara. Are you shocked?
No, we're not that shocked.
We are selling it as ours, but it's not ours. So let me tell you the original Nigerian fabrics that are ours, right? Have you forgotten that we have Akwete? Do you know the Akwete from the east?
Yes.
We have Ashoke from the west. We have the batik. We have the tie and dye also from the north and from the west as well.
We are talking about
so
stones.
no, but what I'm talking about the fabric, right? So what I'm saying is that stones are actually helping these fabrics look more beautiful, so more elegant, more stylish, right?
Good.
But I feel like they are beautiful in themselves. So most times I feel like we are not so proud of most of these fabrics. That's why we decide to stone them.
We are going the extra.
Have you heard of the word adorning?
Adorning. So for me, adorning and embellishments and sometimes appliques. I feel like these things sometimes.
Okay.
They
detract.
I think they distract us from the original intention of the
Okay.
thing. So for me, it's not about beauty. I believe in sustainable fashion. And what I sell to the rest of the world and Africa is our heritage.
Okay.
So I'm someone who would go as much as, instead of using the fringe, for example, I can decide to go use the raffia.
It's all about dynamism.
So
fashion is dynamic.
It's dynamic.
So while Obitaris will not like stones on Ankara, Celestina and Patience will stone themselves
If I was going to style an international act like Beyonce, for example, I'll use an Ankara is not stoned.
Fine, good.
That's you.
Celestina, take us
Fashion, that is why it's global. That is why it's not one man style. That is why it's a freestyle. Ankara, you stone it, you don't stone it. It looks elegant regardless. But the reason we stone ours, there are some Ankaras that you can actually follow the patterns and stone them.
I know that.
And
just like what you did on this one.
Yeah, I know
and to add a little glamour and to make it more sophisticated.
No,
but let me tell you why I was
my point is
let me tell you why I was so Ankara. See, now you're a lawyer. You need a lawyer. You need a lawyer. Obitaris, hire me.
She likes company.
Hire us. Look at how she's glowing. And you're telling us you're not glowing?
No, you're glowing.
Okay. Nice one. Let's say this is a draw.
Yes.
I'm standing as
Thank you.
Obitaris' lawyer.
Thank you.
Because yes, I'm his lawyer because 2-1 is not a fair battle.
Exactly.
So I go 2-2. But at the end of the day, let's agree to disagree. Because some of us like stones, some on some Ankaras, some may not. And you already said that style is innate. So whether you want your own with stones, whether you don't want your own with stones,
it's okay.
The joy of the client is the final payment.
No, but the beauty as well is that if you
wants.
have Ankara, if you have whatever Ashoke, if you have any of those fabrics, yeah, sometimes you can, because when you go to most women, especially, you go to their wardrobe. If they have 10 Ankara clothes, the 10 of them are stoned. So I feel sometimes you should have those fabrics without being stoned.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
plain. That's so enjoy the beauty of Ankara. Enjoy the beauty of Ashoke.
Sometimes it's the style. What style? You cannot tie a wrapper and stone it.
No, you can't.
Yes.
Do you understand? So it's the
Yeah,
style.
it's the style.
Like, let me shock you. I have only this one that is stoned in my Ankara.
I'm impressed. So you're with me.
Okay,
You're
amazing.
with me.
Amazing. Okay, let's leave the stones. Celestina, let's leave the stones. Let's dive now. Okay.
I thought, are you going where I'm going? Are we going where
I
we are
can't be
going?
thinking like you, but tell me, what are you thinking?
Okay, so we've been to Igbo. We've seen the Igbo tribal fashion. We've seen the Hausa tribal fashion. Let's give our Yoruba people the chance. Oh, Wambe.
A man can be easily identified in three major ways of life: the language he speaks, the food he eats, and the type of clothes he puts on. Out of these three ways of life, the latter can be well seen and reflected afar off. The culture that said man emanates from, which also depicts his personality and social status.
In Yoruba land, we dress according to status, position, and age. If you are a chief, you are expected to appear in public in complete Yoruba dress of cap, agbada, buba, and shokoto. And if a woman, in a three-piece of gele, iborun, buba, and iro, maidens, olomoge, they can just wear gele, buba, and iro. But overall, there is a saying in Yoruba land that you are addressed the way you dress.
Yoruba fashion and traditional dress, which is awash with styles such as four-piece female iro, wrapper, buba, blouse, and ikpele, shawl, with the gele accessory headgear, as well as the male agbada, robe, buba, and dansiki, baggy shirts, shokoto, trouser, and fila, cap accessory has been synonymous with Ashoke, which comes in three major styles based on pattern and coloration such as Alari, a rich red Ashoke, Sonyon, brown and usual light brown Ashoke, Etu, a dark blue Ashoke.
Ashoke is our traditional material, especially in the Yoruba land. It's made from cotton plants, which is spun and then dyed into three of our major colors like Alari, Etu, and Sonyon before it's woven by hand. It's not a machine, it's all handmade. They call it Ashoke because it comes from the far outside uphill. That's the area that makes this Ashoke. And up to date, they still call it Ashoke.
This traditional attire signifies a profound cultural legacy with declaration of self-confidence and cultural identity, which require different forms and modes of traditional outfits from formal events to daily wears.
Yoruba know that the way you dress is showing your inner mind. If you are going for a formal program, you will be formally dressed, God forbid. If you are going for a funeral or a sad occasion, you don't dress flamboyantly. Conversely, if you are going for a ceremony like wedding, chieftaincy, housewarming, you are expected to dress to show the mood of happiness and joy.
As technology advances every day, Yoruba's style of fashion has metamorphosed in order to accommodate acculturation, which gives room for new ideas into an existing cognitive structure. This has changed and transformed native fashion to what we wear today.
For now, we use Ashoke to design foreign outfits, which are found in some international markets too, like Personally, I use for reversible coats, waistcoats, trousers, skirts, any foreign clothes. You can use ashoke and other African fabrics, and even use it to combine a lot of fabrics. And I think a lot of youths are really adapting it now.
In sustaining one's heritage, it is very important to preserve our national cultural values through our unique form of identification by the way we dress, in order to ascertain who we are and where we come from, for oncoming generation to uphold this well-built legacy.
So our conversation continues. And we're talking about, I'll go to obituaries. We talked about our indigenous fabrics. Indigenous fabrics.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Yes, so let's talk about what can I do with the ashoke? What can I make with this thing?
So I'll start from how much the government should actually do for the fashion industry, because the fashion industry contributes to a very high GDP of our gross domestic product in Nigeria. But I think we should invest more in fashion. Fashion has gone global. So you have people like, for example, Beyonce, make statements with African fabrics and make a very good statement. So if we invest more in this thing, we'll create a lot of employment for people in Nigeria and the rest of them. So talking about ashoke is from the West, as we all know, and you have these old women doing all that and men doing all that production and all that. So you find out that these things are not very affordable. That's why we don't have a lot of ashoke around. But this ashoke is one of our strong forces internationally and globally. Everybody gets to relate with ashoke. And we've phased too much away from akwete. Akwete is from the East as well.
These textile industries are no longer there working. And so some other people are copying. Because I remember my mother, broken plate, a heavy rain. These were wrappers that they used to wear. They were almost indigenous
even
to
Kirikiri
us.
Star,
and
all those things. Should we invest in these things? Bring back these things so for them to function for us. In the end, we need our industries.
We need our and that is why these things cost so much now. Because we don't produce them anymore. Like we import them now. And we used to have a textile company in Kaduna State. Textiles. In Kaduna. You understand? So we need to bring that. All those died. So at the time we have that, we have even we have more employment for people. You understand? There's people even with production, with styling, with creativity.
We also forget that
the entire value chain is well represented.
We even have these people that need these crutches, all those things. People have actually phased off from those things. I mean, before in those days, everybody used to have like cardigans that were handmade, from just crochet, even baby wears were from that, but now you see that a lot of people have phased off from that.
Ashoke too. You understand? Government should really support this industry. You understand, and equip them, not just farming. Equip fashion industry so that the production can go high. If the production is high, we have more employment.
Have you seen how
we have more styles
and perhaps the price will come down.
Exactly.
The cost of the fabrics will come down to drive down cost of making clothes as well. But let's talk about accessories. Accessorizing your outfit. Putting stones on them is one way to accessorize. One expects that by the time you've already put the stones on your outfit, you wear less of your jewelry. You've already started bejeweling yourself. And oftentimes it's more of the women who use the stones than the man, if at all. But there are other ways we can also accessorize our clothing. What is appropriate for what? Sometimes you see some gentlemen looking very nice in a kaftan, and then you see laced up shoes. And then you see a lady sometimes wearing a very lovely dress, fabric, a cultural fabric, and then you see covered shoes with block heels that you thought would fit better perhaps in the office or with a suit. Can we do anything with anything? What do we need to do to bring out that same style?
Obi Taxi, did I say right?
Yes,
it's fashion is not just a one-man thing. It depends on you. Have you ever come into a situation where you bring out everything you're going to wear and you wear it doesn't look good, and you just change it entirely for that day? That's what fashion is. So what you are comfortable with is fashion. I'm not going to come and coach you on how you look good, because what looks good on me doesn't look good on you. Do you understand? Or on him. You understand? Just like frankly, what looks good on him doesn't look good on the actor Frank, right? right?
Yeah.
So it's what you are comfortable with. That is what is fashion, not styling. Styling is more of accessories, you
Yes.
know, making it more fashionable,
Yes.
adding more accessories, more styles. You know, I could style this up more, like he was suggesting.
Yes.
You could wear a belt, you could go crazy, you could put appliques, you understand? But if you want to make it simple, you make it simple. If you want to make it classy, you make it classy. If you want to go crazy, you can go crazy.
Okay, so me, until Obitaris and Queen Celestina designs for Thelma and I, and we wear it, all this thing is still just beba.
Don't worry, they won't
Don't
your brand.
you. Don't
Yes,
worry.
no, we don't mind.
We're
I
gonna
was wearing
style
your
you.
brand. I said,
Yeah.
what I'm wearing today
It's Queen C,
okay,
yeah.
now Obitari said something and said the Nigerian fashion industry is contributing significantly to the nation's GDP.
Yes.
That is purely business.
Yes.
So our next contribution from Watana will be telling us, fashion or business, where do we draw the line? Or are they together? Are they intertwined? Watana, let us know.
Welcome to Nigeria. From Abuja to Lagos, the hub of Vogue vibes, the heartbeat of African fashion. We are here at High Look to have an economical insight of the industry. Join the movement as Nigeria takes center stage.
The industry has a huge potential. For Nigeria, it's still at the level of potential. Some people, when you talk about what fashion contributes to our GDP, some estimate is not reliable, really, but some estimates suggest it's less than 1%. So it's really quite small. But then, when you look at the potential of the industry, is mind-boggling. For instance, a country like Bangladesh. Bangladesh used to be a poor country, much poorer than Nigeria in the 70s. But then their government did something. They introduced favorable policies that attracted international foreign brands. And so they came into Bangladesh and opened factories, modern state-of-the-art factories. And today, this same country, over 84% of their export comes from clothing industry.
And basically what I do is this: bring fresh people in, then I pay them monthly salary. It might not be that much, but within that time, they are learning from scratch. You get a point. So I bring somebody in, train you. Maybe it would take 3 months, depending on your level, it would take 6 months. Some people, it can take 1 year. But then what we do is that we pay you every month. Yeah, it adds to my overhead cost, but it's doable.
You know, we're in the midst of fashion royalty, so excited. And you know they love music. These fashion people, they love music. Obitare initially said he doesn't know how to dance. When Patience now said that royalty, king, dance, so that there's a prize, a cash prize. He said he can do every step. So then he now put the
Money is a motivator.
Okay, it's been very exciting having you guys with us
Thank
today.
you
We
for
have
having
brought
us.
towards
Thank
the
you.
climax of our show. Let's look to young, innovative, ingenious people who are inspired and motivated by all you have shared with us today. What ought they to be thinking at this time? They want to set up a business. They want to become part of this very impressive fashion industry. Can you say a few words that can guide them?
Fashion, continue living your dream as a fashion designer. If you don't have anybody to style yet, style yourself. Do you understand? Because somebody's going to see you on the road and ask you, what are you wearing? And you're like, oh, this is me. I made this.
The industry is wide enough to accept everybody, and just like the sky is big enough for everybody to fly. So if you are an upcoming designer, you should just find your niche. You mustn't be a designer. In the industry is wide enough. We have illustrators. If you're an artist who likes to draw, and you can come in as an illustrator. If you're a fashion stylist, you know somebody, you know how to blend colors, you can come in as a fashion stylist. If you are somebody who likes to style people, you can come in as a fashion stylist. If you're somebody who likes to handle wardrobe, handle costumes, you can come in as a costumier. So there's a lot of there's a variety of stuff you can do in the industry without even being a designer or being a tailor. You know, so we are in the business of fashion. We are the designers. We are in the ones who do the business of fashion. We also have the tailors who are the ones who execute, who are the ones who cut, who do the actual sewing. Because sometimes you might not have all the time to do all that. So the industry is wide enough. Just find your niche, find what you like, and come in. And
please, can you quickly speak to body types and what we wear? Because sometimes, you know, let's just know I am this body type. What can I wear to make me look decent?
So if you are somebody who, for example, you are bigger on the upper side. For example, if you're female or even a male, you're bigger on the upper side and then tinier on the smaller side, on the down part. Try to always wear things that are bigger from the waist down, so that it hides that tiny frame. You know, and when you are on from the upper side as well, you can just try and wear something that is a little smaller, so that it cinches your body. Yes, and then there are colors too to wear. As if you're a big person, you should tilt more to black. Black tends to make you trim. You know, yes. So there are colors. So these are conversations you have.
What about those long waist high slits?
Waist high slits.
Those waist high slits. Long waist high slits.
High slits. Okay, slit side slits.
The fashionable trend that people have embraced.
So slits are beautiful, but then I'm sorry, but if you're somebody, for example, your skin, you have cellulites, and you have some things that are not you're not so proud of. I don't think high slits are for you. High slits are for people, for example, like you saw the models that came in, they're for people who have a particular frame of body. So that is your job to consult us as designers and fashion stylists and the rest of us to help you, advise you on the things to wear that suit your body type. So
okay, I want to bring in our models now for the goodbye. Our models, are you ready?
Yeah.
So how you doing? This is amazing. How do you feel wearing such a lovely dress? And like Obitara said, there's a body type for some styles.
I mean, she's slim, so she can get away with
Yes, she can.
If I wear it, all of you will run away.
Okay, Celestina, tell us about this.
Who
can wear this?
Every woman can wear this, from big, small,
young.
So this is something that can suit somebody. Like I said, if you have a big up and a tiny,
and this is a silk material. And usually silk material, they're not really bulky. They just slim you automatically. So if you notice, she's bigger on the up and smaller on the
because it's an A-line dress.
Yes, it's an A-line dress.
Amazing. Okay.
Well done. Let's do this. You're looking pretty again.
And this is Kim. She's a fashion model, and she's wearing our two-piece. This is actually adire, but in an Ankara form. So we just gave it the two print to make it look more, so that it doesn't look boring. Since our Obi doesn't like stones.
Okay, so Ankara with the bars.
Yes, with the
Ankara
bars.
with the bars. With Nigeria with the
so can't you see how gorgeous this looks? It doesn't.
People, thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Fashion royalty.
So in fashion, always have this in mind that in fashion, less is more.
Okay, less is more. On that note, we want to say bye-bye to the world, Nigeria, the continent. Keep acing it.
Thank you. We love you.
Nigeria.
Thank you.